Just wanted to give a quick review on the Zoom R16 16-track recorder. This is can be used as a standalone unit or an audio interface with whatever DAW you're using, and also works as a control surface for your DAW. So quickly power it up here. Switch on the back. Comes up, it'll load your project, and you can see everything lights up there. Very simple to use. Right now this is running off 6 AA batteries. You can see on the back here. You got a little insert to run off the battery. Also runs off a 5-volt adapter that you can plug in here. If you are using, there's 8 XLR quarter-inch combination inputs on the back here, and if you're using, and I generally use for recording drums, I'm using 7 inputs on these, and if you're using a lot of inputs, I'd recommend using the AC adapter because it does take up a lot of battery power if you're trying to record on that many inputs. If you're just using 1 or 2, should be fine. So just going through here, some of the features on this. There is one high impedance input on channel 1. I looked this up, and for you guitar players, bass players out there, I believe this is about a 500k ohm high impedance input. I know most guitar players look for like 1k ohms, but for other equivalent recorders in this price range, I think that's pretty standard that it's 500k. I'm recording drums, so that's not as important to me. I've never even turned it on, so if any guitar players out there have any input in there, you can certainly link a video on that. There are 2 channels of phantom power can be accessed here from this switch. There's actually 4 channels that have phantom power, but on channels 7 and 8, there's 2 built-in stereo condenser mics. They're actually mono condenser mics that can be run in stereo off these 2 channels, and by turning them on, turns on those mics, and you can see we can get some output out of there. The audio off this just is coming off my phone. It's not coming off here, but you can see, get some output out of there. Switch that off. And the interface is extremely easy to use. You can see, just for just as a standalone unit, you want to go into record mode. These are a 3-way select switch on here, so the green is in play mode, then goes to mute, then goes to arm for record, to start recording. And I've actually got something on this product, so let me just go through the whole thing here. So you want to load up a new project. Basically, simply hit the project button. You can see on the LED there, just select new project. You can name it or come up with, there's a default name on there. Select it, continue. It says create. Go to create it, project complete. Goes up there, puts all the files on there. Then you can go and just arm your channel, and just hit record and play. are off, everything's running. Stop, go back, rewind it, play it. I don't have any output hooked up at this point, but just basically showing you the features on how to use this. Some other things here. This does record everything to an SD card, which can be accessed through the side here. And the nice thing about that is this is extremely quiet. If you're used to any sort of recording units that have an internal hard drive, and some have CD-ROM drives or CD writers in there, and they can be pretty noisy. The best thing I can say about this is the recording is extremely quiet, pretty much noise free, and even on a lot of the audio interfaces, especially ones that have you not only go into your USB connection in your computer, but they also require a separate power source to that. And it comes with good and bad, and the bad is that oftentimes you're dealing with 60 cycle hum and that sort of thing. This you really are not dealing with that at all. And as I said, right now this is run off battery power. If you use this as an audio interface, and there's a USB cable that comes with it, and you just plug it right into there. Now I'll explain. There's two inputs here, and I'll explain in a minute what each of those are for. But if you go into the audio interface mode, again, you don't need the power cord at all. Just runs everything off USB power. So that just goes to show you, just how little power this consumes. And I guess there's some good and bad with that. And I've heard some complaints on the preamps on these. A lot of people complained about their particular performance on that. I've not had an issue with that, just using them as mic pre's. As a matter of fact, I'll kind of go in here. Right now, I have the gain, with the exception of these two channels, which I moved when I was showing you the internal mics. But generally, this is what I have set for drums, and I'm recording off 7 channels off this. I don't use channel 4, which is why this is all the way turned down. But I'll just go across here, and I've actually got quite a bit of headroom on all those. I didn't change that from when I last recorded from downstairs. And so I've not had that problem. I imagine if you're a guitar player, bass player, you might run into a little bit more of that. Maybe some of you could give me some feedback on that. Just going to some other features here. Again, very easy. There's 16 tracks. You can see you got your track selectors here. Right now it's on 1 through 8. So everything's set here 1 through 8. You just switch over to 9 through 16. You got your other 8 channels. Just going through effects, very easy to do. You have your pan EQ settings. So right here, for creating stereo tracks, stereo linking, you can do that. Basically pairs it up in odd and even pairs for stereo linking. Go through here. You got your high EQs. They're all parametric. So very easy to kind of sweep through there and take out what you want, what you don't want. Again, you got basically your aux sends that you have here. You can program that through here. You have your send return effects, so you can set that up and then access it on each channel through the pan EQ button. If you've worked with mixers at all, this is fairly intuitive. If you're new to recorders, this might be a little it might be a little disconcerting at first, but there's plenty of help on the website. I'll do another video basically on this as a audio interface, but this is just a basic overview.